1989, and the NES is starting to see a stream of third-party developers making games for the console, and one of the biggest ones at the time was Tecmo. Now, before the launch of this game, they already had hits like Solomon's Key, Rygar, and one of my personal favorites, Mighty Bomb Jack. But with 4 already prominent baseball games out there, could Tecmo hit a home run? Well, let's find out with this month's incarnation of the 8-Bit Boys of Summer, Tecmo Baseball. Tecmo Baseball was released as a North American exclusive title in January of 1989. Yeah, believe it or not, this wasn't released in Japan, even though baseball games flow more freely over there back then than Madden did back in the mid to late 90s. Anyways, you could select from one of 14 different teams split up into 2 divisions of 7 with the AM League and the NM League. I'm guessing they're supposed to mean American and National League, but Tecmo couldn't get the rights to use them like LJN did with MLB. Also, what they couldn't get is the Players Association rights, so they had to make up their own players. But curiously, we're given the same stats as the players on those teams from the 1987 season. What you may notice from this game, though, is that it borrows from some of the other games released during this time period, notably Bases Loaded and RBI Baseball. What it borrows from Bases Loaded is the TV-style presentation, and also has some variants of their Jumbotron videos. What it borrows from RBI Baseball is that it has the same speed and fun gameplay of its originator. So what happens when you combine the two? Oddly enough, the combination and what Tecmo did, it turned out to be a really pleasurable and enjoyable experience. This game honestly surprised me. I didn't come to this game with any expectations or high expectations, but this game is actually really, really good. I like this game. We'll start with the third-person control scheme that Bases Loaded brought in. I like how they implemented it here than there because while there isn't much distance visually, there's enough time between pitch and end result to react positively, whereas Bases Loaded was watching a web page upload on a 56K internet connection. Plus, it doesn't waste any time actually throwing the ball back to the pitcher since you move straight forward to the next pitch. And speaking of controls, we can actually move when we bat or pitch, something that was sorely missing from Bases Loaded. What's also better about this game is the music. It's livelier and more energetic than Bases Loaded and better than RBI Baseball's music, although admittedly it's not as iconic as their music. This would be the music you want to listen to outside of the game, which is something that RBI Baseball can't claim to do. Also, the sound clips used for saying strike, ball, out, and safe all sound clearer than they do on Bases Loaded. I also like the Jumbotron videos a lot better here than I do on Bases Loaded as well. I must commend Tecmo. They took some things that work with Bases Loaded and RBI Baseball and made them a lot better. Now, I must be a bit picky about a couple of things, and it's the same problem I ran into with RBI Baseball, and that's when you perform a hit and run and you make it to the next base on a flyout, you can't go back and tag the previous base, and it sets you up for an easy double play against you. That will always be frustrating to me, and something that I hope is addressed in later games in the series. The second thing I want to bring up is the display of the score and of safe or out on the field. It's pretty small and the text isn't that great. Not only that, it looks kinda unfinished. It's like they said, hey, let's stick 2 boxes up there with the score and call it a day and go to the Tokyo Dome to see Inoki versus Stan Hansen. Aside from that, the complaints I have are quite minimal. And you know, I gotta admit, this is a really fun and enjoyable baseball game. I honestly had more fun with this than I did RBI Baseball, and I think it's a better game than the original RBI Baseball. So this is going on top of the leaderboard. But that brings a question. Did Tecmo do any more baseball games? Well, honestly, they did. And one of the games that they did, actually the last baseball game they did for the NES, was Bad News Baseball. Now, that game is kind of getting a little bit hard to find, so I'm going to put off the next game in this rundown, which would have been Baseball Stars. Put that off till April for opening day. So, next month, I'm going to do Bad News Baseball. I'm going to have to find a place to find it here locally. Well, until next time, bye-bye!